You might be wondering where the hell I am. Where the fuck I am. This is DE Sub-Zero, map that just got released. And boy is it fucking beautiful. This is a good looking motherfucking map. It is very unique. And I'm here to talk about why I think this map potentially has a shot at becoming a competitive map. Why maybe down the line it could actually be played in tournaments for a lot of money. I mean, I don't know. I'm just one man with one opinion, but you know, I think a lot of what will dictate if that's going to be possible is how the map plays once you have the best teams playing against the best teams for a lot of money. Once you have the two best teams playing for a lot of money, and then you put them in the server and you put them on this map, and then you ask them to try their hardest, then we'll really find out, you know, what's good and bad about the map. But from the outside, and you know, after a lot of playtesting that I was a part of, that Sean did, that FM Pone did, it seems like there's a pretty good chance that this could be played competitively. It's certainly, I assume, will be a big hit in matchmaking, which is, I think, a first step. But what's really important, I think, about the aesthetic is that it's different. It looks different. It's nice and it's different at the same time. Like, I think it's got a lot of white on it, which is not something that we're used to. We're used to those, you know, Dust 2 textures. Inferno's a little bit lighter now, but this map is a lot of white, and it doesn't feel uncomfortable to play on. It's not hard on the eyes by any means. I think one thing about Season was it was so different from the old Season, which was a lot of concrete. The new Season was this, you know, high-tech facility, and it had very bright colors. This map's got a lot of white too, but it's not so harsh, you know, and I think that's really important. So here's a map that looks a little bit different, and I think still works really well in terms of aesthetic, and that's, I think, going to make it popular to play on, or at least one of the reasons. But beyond that surface level reason, I think there's other things to it. Over at B, you've got just the entire layout is fairly unique. I found myself in the 10 mans that we played coming up with my own routines for how to take B, where, you know, I would come here. You can actually boost from inside, so I'd come and clear that, and then once I cleared this area, I would throw the smoke over here, and then I would come down, clear out this area. I found a Molotov you can throw for the back of the site that you can use to clear stuff out, and it was quick to learn. You know, it took me 1/2 to figure out this kind of routine that I could use to come and clear stuff out, and I thought that was really, really fun. Over at A as well, you know, there's some really cool nades, and I think because there's open areas, there's a lot of room to throw utility, a lot of creativity that people can come up with. Even in like a situation like this, I found a lineup where, because you can see over this, if you line this up, I believe, you can molly the back of the truck pretty easily. There is this place at mid, which splits towards A. That is pretty interesting because you can jump up, you can actually fight from here, but if you commit, say you want to commit for the rotate because they already took a site, then you can drop down, and once again, you can't get back up yourself, which is very interesting. You know, so I think it has a good balance of things that you can figure out naturally, like mid splits A and B, but then also, you know, when do I want to take this risk, right? When does it make sense to do this? Do I go and cross back? Is it better to push up mid from here? Is it better to not rotate this way? Should I just fight from here as a CT? So I think it's kind of cool to see that there's a fresh take on some of the stuff that we're used to seeing on a map with a lot of familiarity at the exact same time. Beyond that, I again just, you know, really appreciate the way that it looks, and I think there's also going to be a lot of room for CT options to push. So, you know, here you've got like a big wide choke point, and there's actually an area that T's can split through from here, But you can use a smoke from here, for example, to smoke out that doorway, and then fight. And there's also this stuff at mid, which means that if you do get smoked out as mid from a CT, you can take this ladder up. You can fight from up here, which is kind of cool as well. So you don't feel optionless ever as either a T or CT, I feel like. And I think there's also quite a bit of clutch potential. Like here's a really small site where you put the bomb down, but then in terms of after plant, you could play in here. And I've seen, we've seen clutches where people sit in the door like this, but then someone can come through the window, right? You can come in silently, you can fight them. And because it's small, that means that there's enough, even with a very little time on the clock. There's a lot of options and a lot of ways that you can win your 1v1, which on like a site on train, for example, it feels like almost pointless sometimes to go for the 1v1 or 1v2 on the site because of the giant trains that they can play off of. There isn't that here, which is kind of cool. I appreciate that. Having good clutches, I think, makes very exciting competitive games as well. So yeah, that's kind of the long and short of why I like this new map, why I think it has potential to be played, and I think it'll just be a natural fit for anybody queuing up for matchmaking. And I definitely hope that we see some progress, and I'm looking forward to what kind of nades and stuff like that people bring to the table if we do get to the point where it's actually played in tournaments. We definitely need something new, and maps are what's going to keep this game alive. So it's going to be important, I think, to make videos like this, Theory Strike about them, but then also to actually get in and play them. So definitely give it a shot.